I've had post-traumatic stress disorder for 25 years. Although I'm on antidepressants to calm me out, and I must admit they have worked wonderfully, sometimes the old trick of the light switch that flicks will bring out the worst in me, and there's no build up to that light switch flicking off. So what I thought is something along these lines may teach me to, when I'm getting like that, agitated, or I'm going to start flipping, to sit down and something that can calm me down, like taking 10 breaths. So that's what interests me about this. I want to be able to control that flick of the light switch, and the trouble is you don't know when it's going to happen. Sometimes that light switch has no control. This has been going on for 25 years. You could go back further. You could say, very good upbringing. I joined the army, my brother joined the police force. Before I joined the army, in and out of trouble with the police all the time. The old saying is, you can say, I blame it on the parents, but you can't when one has gone into the policeman and one's in trouble with the police. To gouge someone's eyes out in a fight would be something that I would do quite naturally, because that's what I've been trained to do, and that's not right. We all know that. But in that situation, perfectly natural, didn't bat an eyelid. Now, that's due to your training. I am intelligent and mature enough to know that this will stay with me for my life. You can't possibly change it. I know that. It's how I've got to try and cope with it, and that is the hard part. And it's not just me, it's my wife as well who's had to endure this, and people don't realise that a marriage is partnership, and she's had to endure this. What I'm trying to do is to be able to unwind, try and train my mind to be just a little bit more calmer. Everyone on this planet has got a temper. Everyone's got a temper. What I'm really concerned about, the point that I will go too far and hurt somebody physically, because it will seem natural. If it came to a violent confrontation, I do my best to walk away from every confrontation I can, because I know inside me that if I flip and I go to attack, it will be to kill, not to hurt, and that's why I have to walk away. I want to be able to control that to make me a better person inside myself. There is no deprogram in the army, and I feel very, the MOD, you're just a number. Thank you very much, goodbye, Queen and Country. Queen and Country is a load of bullshit, by the way. You fight for your friends and colleagues you're around. But there is no deprogram. They spend an awful lot of money programming you to do a job, but they won't spend a penny on saying, right, okay then, let's sit down. Right, I now want you to calm down. There is no deprogramming from the army to say, stop killing now in your mind. The army's document is, target will fall when hit. It's when you get older you realise that target was someone. The army is always target full hit. So you try not to think as a human being. Yeah, I often think about, these people that we've actually killed because of politicians, I suppose. Politicians create wars, don't they? They don't solve them. And politicians will turn their backs on any military force. They won't support you. You've only got to see present day Iraq. The soldiers now take a photograph, which to the general public's mind is, they shouldn't shackle up these prisoners and lead them around on a leash or something. The politicians will then criticise the soldier on the ground. The truth behind that photograph may be a lot bigger, in the fact that that particular soldiers may have been bombed at, shot at, lost friends, been abused, etc, and there's only a certain amount of what their own personal discipline and what they've been trained to can cope with. Abusing one or two prisoners is, in a military mind, perfectly normal. So the support fails of what they send you in to do. I'm not saying it should be censored, but there's always two sides of the story, and that happened in the Falklands as well. So the Geneva Convention is a guideline, it's a pamphlet. You can't possibly stick to the Geneva Convention what they're trying you to do all the way down the line through battle. Politicians will go by the Geneva Convention come black or white. They've never been there, they've never been in the front there, and some of these journalists have never been there, and they've not been programmed the way we have. The Falklands War was the most heavily censored military campaign in British history. The public don't know that. The Falklands War was fought, yes, with some sophisticated weapons, but 80% of that war was hand-to-hand, bayonet, and physically strangling and killing and stabbing people, which is very much the same as the First World War. The public didn't understand that. So people don't see the truth. When you have someone saying, well, they shot a prisoner, for God's sake, let's have an inquiry, which they did do. They want you to do the dirty work. They want you to do the rough work. But they'll turn their backs on anything that's not politically correct. Now, that's today's standard. We did have these events in 1982 as well. If any of our lads went to see the doctor after the Falklands and said, listen, I'm having some nightmares, you were almost downgraded, you were shunned, you were told within the hierarchy that is a weak-linked soldier, do not promote him and give him any chance, right? Because post-traumatic stress disorder was only just being recognised, but I saw many a good man thrown out the army or told to leave, or here's your discharge papers because of that. But you know, you should be able to at least talk about it, deprogram it. It was something I should have had 25 years ago. Used and abused and goodbye. Obviously I've had to deal with this for the last 19 years. I've controlled quite a lot of it. I've managed to deal with quite a lot of it. Now I went through a 3-month campaign. Think about it, when there was poor buggers in World War II and World War I. They went on for